move back up. We're going to move back up to number. Yeah, we're going to move back up to number 3. Public hearing regarding North Smithfield Teachers Association proposed contract. Do we have a motion to open the public hearing? I don't think so. Sorry. Let's make a motion to open the public hearing.
No one here.
We didn't vote.
No.
No, the teacher's contract was last one. Usually do.
Would anybody out there like to?
Yes.
I won't wait. Come on up.
Make a motion
All right.
on public hearing regarding the school teachers' contract, Mr. President.
That's a motion. Wait a second. Roll call.
Mrs. Bowden?
Yes.
Yes.
Mrs. O'Hara?
Yes.
Mr. Swansky?
Yes.
Mr. Turner?
Yes. Mr. Lombardi, would you discuss the details?
Well, I'll just, I know that each of you received a copy of the proposal electronically. And, I just want to say that this was a very tough negotiation. I think that it is a good negotiation for all parties, and I'll just go over it very quickly. Not that this is material, but we eliminated the voluntary professional development day. We had some language changes. There was a situation where if there were 2 teachers in the district, they were receiving at that time the coverage waiver, so the health insurance waiver, so we were paying them a stipend. So it would be kind of like they're both covered, and one isn't covered, but we're covering the other one anyway. So it was we were able to eliminate that through negotiations. We increased the co-share on the health insurance to 20% each year. And basically the increases are 0%, and this gets very complicated, and people have said, why'd you make it this complicated? Because we had to make it work, and that's the reason for it. But basically in the first year, from step 1 to step 11, there has been no change to their salary. Step 12, we created a new step 12. Step 12 is the difference between what, so we created a step 12 really to create a step 11, let me say it this way. So step 11 is halfway between the 10 and 12. I'm already losing it. But what had happened is it eliminated the ability for someone to go from 70,000 to 79,000 by a step increase alone. Now they go from 70,000 to 75,000, wait a year, and then go to 79,000. That's their top step. They also, the top step received 1% on the first day and 1% after the 90th day. So that's a combined total of 1.75 for the year. Although I don't want to say that it in the subsequent year it compounds at 2%. Though, going 1 and 1, 2% the next year. The following year, steps 1 through 10. Well, the next 2 years, steps 1 through 10 received 1% for the whole year. We re-eliminated step 12. And so there was a $45,000 savings in creating it and no cost on eliminating it. And you're going to say, how did that possibly happen? Because we were in the situation of 9 teachers going in from going into step 12 or step 11 in the current year, and no teachers next year. So we created 9 teachers, and if you notice the vote was something to 9. 9 teachers had to wait an extra year, which saved the district $45,000. It does not happen in the subsequent years, so we were able to bring that back to 11 steps. Same situation in 2019, 20, 1% on the first day, 1% on the 90th day. Same thing in the 2020 year, 1% on the first day, 1% on the 90th day. So On a year-to-year basis, it's 1.75% increase. We also gave them a small amount of money for advanced degrees, for master. In the third year of the contract, it's, we gave masters plus 30, and a doctorate, $200 a year stipend addition. Anybody have any questions?
In the third year, you eliminated step one.
In the second year, we eliminated, in the second and third year, we eliminated step one.
So
I
they
said
went,
step 12, but I meant step one, you're right.
Last year, we approved 3% for the schools, right?
Yes.
How many years is this contract? 3 years?
3 years.
And this year, the 3% covered that covered that.
Covers the first year.
Covers the first year of the contract. What's going to be required? What is the minimum amount that's going to be required to cover the contract for next year?
Well, I mean, assuming that there's no differences in, state aid, the second year cost, just make sure I get this right, is $283,000. So, and is that 1%?
According to information that the finance department has reviewed based on, or from the school department, that increase will require a 2.5% increase in the appropriation to schools for this contract alone.
Just to cover the contract.
how will that affect the implementation of pathway classes or programs to get students from other districts into town?
Look, you mind if I just step back? Is that 2.5% over the 3 years or each year?
Now, that's the year-over-year increase from the end of the first year, well, the first year of the contract to the second year of the contract will require a 2.5% increase in the town appropriation to schools.
I'm sorry, how will it impact, hopefully?
Right, so what I'm asking is because we did the 3% this year, next year it will require 2.5 for your contractual obligations. So I don't see how you can implement new programs if 2.5 is going just to salaries. And the next council may not be willing to go to 3%. What will you do with 0.5% to increase the programs?
Well, first of all, I would think that the programs are relatively cost neutral. I would hope that we're going to be adding students to the high school so that we would get a second source of revenue. I don't know if you saw the last school committee meeting where I asked, I kept the budget. Better?
Yes.
All right, I kept the budget on the agenda for a few different reasons. One is I wanted to see more efficiencies in the budget. So I wanted to, and I heard you loud and clear, all of you. And the second thing is that I wanted to see an advertising budget to make sure that that everyone knows that we have the best high school in the state. So I asked the superintendent, he said he had enough money, I asked him to put a plan together. I want to see one, kids not leave the district, and then two, other kids coming into the district. So I believe right now, we have 3 pathways that are set up that will take on students. So, you know, it's say $16,000 a student that we can bring in. So again, we have to stop the bleeding. We have to create another cash flow. So hopefully, the answer to your question is, you know, we get more funding from the state, and we don't come back and continue to ask you for 3%.
That's my concern. That's
It's
my
my
concern.
Believe me,
So
it's my-
when this, you know, when they ran the numbers, contract sounds good, but when you look at what will be required, it could be a problem.
Right. I don't know how else to resolve it. You know, I think that we need a statewide contract, to be honest with you. You know, I don't know, you know, I started at a 25% co-share on healthcare. I started at, well, I shouldn't say the negotiating committee started at 1%. We also, and, you know, unfortunately, other districts around the area, and I know this says, who cares, but other districts, everybody's paying more than 2% now in these 3-year contracts. I mean, Central Falls, I think was, I know it's state based, but it might have been 3%. Like, we were getting killed trying to negotiate when they kept on throwing out these different districts that were paying a lot more.
And Warwick is looking to do a decrease, right?
They are.
I think so.
Maybe we should get their negotiation.
You don't want their taxes?
No.
So, you know, I don't, if you have a, I mean, seriously, if you have ideas, I didn't
No,
want to.
I think when we spoke, looking at efficiencies and checking on those things, and I brought up the concern with one of the members that I would like some research done. I realize that the state requires the math curriculum that we have, and then we hear that when the kids are getting to college, they're taking remedial math. Are they taking remedial math and practical math because that's not what we're teaching?
So, I mean, I'm not an educational expert. Right?
No, I understand, but I'm just curious.
I know that there's a new math class that we just received approval to use, and it might be a more basic math class going in, and then we make it up kind of on the tail ends. But I don't know if that better prepares them for college. Doesn't? I mean,
I would be curious if you can have the curriculum director just check that, what is the remedial math they're taking in college? Is it basic math that we're not actually teaching? And I know,
Jim, can I comment?
absolutely.
There's been a trend, okay, in math that you have to hit goals very early. It doesn't matter if they're prepared or not. This test is going to be covered, we've got to go from there, from there. Some kids get it like that, other kids don't. So what we're creating in the elementary are learning gaps. And I think when you get onto a more intense math, generally the problem relates to basic. It's like looking how foundation isn't strong, you're not getting anywhere. And I believe, I think the state is on one to this math they have. I think we're strong on that before. And I've tutored so many kids, and it all goes back to somewhere, something simple, they missed it, and it took working really one-to-one to figure what are they doing. And we almost had to go back and go through everything. I believe firmly, and I'm glad the school addressed it at the high school, because the first word I mentioned, they needed remedial there with the amount of students failing. They said we're starting at the bottom. Well, because you're a little older, you can't sing. So that was addressed also. And the other thing, if a student really loves math, they're crazy about it. You give them 2 books, they're done that with a year. Some students and parents, I hope they never continue saying that, well, I wasn't good in math. You want to pull your hair off. So that they're not encouraged, and they don't attack it like they were before they can even go on, so there won't be a net negative impact. I think it's kind of a way of life to be established as far as that. That's all I want to say, but it's, God knows.
Councilwoman, I'll get back to you on that. Okay. And any question, idea, anything you have, please let me know, and I'll make sure, you can go directly to them, but you let me know, I'll make sure you get the answer at the time.
Mr. President, if I might.
Yep.
Just, the last thing I want to suggest is that I could have done any better in negotiating a contract. I mean, these things, it's a complicated process. There are many aspects of the contract that I looked at that I can say deserve congratulations, or job well done. It's the unfortunate reality that, as I summed in my letter to you of July 12th, that the bottom line is what we have to deal with together. And I'm not saying that we should act in opposition of, I can offer support for the contract, but we're walking into a budget circumstance next year that is going to be very, very difficult. This number, the 2.5% increase, plus the additional $300,000 that is going to come online, or $200-some thousand in debt service that will come online because of the addition at NSES, and the continuation of the fall off in the next year is the final year of the National Grid adjustment. It's a tsunami of things going in the wrong direction. That again, I can't say that I could have done any better. It's not to offer it. It's a simple reality. I hope we're going into this with our eyes wide open. And then, it may come down to a circumstance where there are difficult decisions again to be made next year in the school side as well as elsewhere, because we're forcing ourselves into, we're accepting the challenge of a substantial increase to the school department just with this contract.
And I understand that, but I don't know how I could have negotiated a deal less than 1.75% increase per year. I mean, again, and I agree with you. If we go to statewide contracts, I can give you 10 different ways if we want to go to war with everybody as to how to resolve it. But I don't think that's what we want to do.
I think my concern is more efficiencies. The kids need to be learning the basics, so we don't need to bring in remedial teachers or assistants for them to learn basic math skills. There need to be efficiencies. And now that there is so much technology in the classroom, eventually it's going to become that the teachers are just monitors while the kids are working on their laptops. But I think that's where the efficiencies have to come in. So whether it be going to the state, sending people to the state to fight the core curriculum with the math program, whatever, that needs to start happening, and let the districts set up their curriculum to have successful children. There was a report of how many students that failed math and they're going to summer school this year. That's a problem. And I would say it's a curriculum problem. So somebody needs to look at that and find the efficiencies, so we're not spending extra for these extra personnel that they should be getting it the first time around.
So one of the things that when we hired the superintendent,